Set. Okay, welcome everyone. Come on in. Welcome everyone. My name is Ken Inadoma, Yale class of 76, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our monthly YANA Town Hall. We're here on the 18th floor of the historic Yale Club, right here in Midtown, New York. I understand that we have over 120 registrations tonight. I believe 30 in the room and maybe 70 or 80 out there and joining us virtually. Got a lot to go over tonight, but I just want to give a little bit of background on YANA, the Yale Alumni Nonprofit Alliance, which also stands for You Are Not Alone. Because when you join YANA, you're joining a community of Yale alumni, friends, and family, all committed to working together, giving back, and changing lives. And we do that through a multi-generational approach for Gen Z, for the for students and young alums that are just launching their careers. We like to help them with introductions, with internships, with fellowships, with mentoring. For millennials and Gen X, those that are at the peak or approaching the peak of their careers, we like to help them in what they need to scale their organizations, access resources, whether human resources, financial resources, or best practices. And for the older generations, people like myself, the boomers who are either retired or semi-retired, we want to give back, but YANA finds us curated ways to give back in effective ways. For example, serving on nonprofit boards or being a mentor or advisor or consultant. So it's kind of a beautiful life cycle way for people to work together, give back, and change lives. There are about 8,000 members now in YANA. If you'd like to be a supporting member, consider a recurring monthly contribution of $5 to $10 a month, and you can find that on our donate page. Okay, so enough of that. Before I introduce Sam Heffner, who will be facilitating tonight, we have a special guest or a special introduction for YANA's first paid executive director. She is Kristen Urquiza, class of 03. She comes in from San Francisco. How about a big welcome for Kristen?
Thanks everyone. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to just say hello, make sure folks knew how you could get a hold of me, and just share the first couple of weeks being on the YANA team. This is a remarkable organization, which I know so many of you already know. If you're new to us, highly recommend. I have been connected with YANA for the last 4 years since I started my own nonprofit, and then have just been delighted to step into this role to help bring the organization to a new scale. And I think that YANA plays such a critical role in the Yale ecosystem and really supporting folks all throughout our lives to, really be giving back to our communities and making good on that mission of social impact that I think rests so dear inside of all of our hearts and minds. One thing I did want to share with folks kind of looking ahead is that we have our annual conference and awards luncheon in New York on October 25th. I will be in town for that. I attended it last year. I was just a YANA supporter, and I gotta say, I've been to a lot of conferences and events. This blew me away. Not only the caliber of the panelists, but being in a room full of like-minded Yaleys who are working on some of the world's most pressing problems that whenever you turn on the television, you feel like there are no solutions. We have the solutions, all of us together, and really supporting one another to scale those. This conference was chicken noodle soup for my soul. I called my partner afterwards and I told her, I think I found my Yale people. And lo and behold, here I am in a bigger capacity. So delighted to be here. I'll let you all know that the tickets are going live for the conference next week. However, and there's limited registration. However, I've gotten permission from our conference and committee to be able to drop the link for you all today. So if you want to get a seat at this conference, you can go ahead and do that before it goes public to everyone else. So enjoy tonight. Thank you all so much for being here and for acting and wanting to be part of this incredible community. I'll send it back to you, Ken, and folks in the room.
Okay, Kristen, thank you. Okay, now it's my pleasure to introduce tonight's facilitator, Samantha Heffner, Yale class of 02. extraordinary facilitator. She did a wonderful job facilitating our YANA board retreat back in March. In fact, that facilitation put us on course to hire Christians. So there's a lot of impact in this woman to my right. She does a marvelous job facilitating. Let me introduce Sam Heffner.
Thank you, Ken. Testing, testing. Can everyone hear me on Zoom? Thumbs up. Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here tonight for our Zoom attendees and for our in-persons. As Ken mentioned, I'm Sam Heffner. I'm Yale College 02, Morse College. I am a lawyer and a nonprofit board consultant, and I'm so happy to be here tonight because I work with individuals and teams who are learning about joining nonprofit boards. And as Ken alluded to, I work with nonprofit boards directly on board governance, everything that all the boards encounter, from fundraising and strategy and so many issues. So board matching, if you will, is the bridge between my two busy silos of people joining boards and boards that are already busy working. So my other hobby besides board matching is playing triple bogey golf, I call it. And unlike golf, what I found is that board matching, you see immediate results and improvement. So I love doing board matching. So when I saw the info about this, I said, Ken, how can I help? I just love talking about this and featuring all these amazing organizations. I don't have the hard work to do tonight. These organizations speak for themselves. That being said, a little bit of facilitation helps. So what is happening tonight is that we have 6 amazing organizations you're going to hear from, and we have amazing people in the room and on Zoom. You are all very clever, savvy people who have realized you want to learn more about joining a board and you want to increase your professionalism, your networking, your connection to something important, and you're all very savvy. What's not happening tonight is that YANA is not doing concierge board placement services. There are organizations out there that do that, and YANA is not doing that. This is our first inaugural board match event, and YANA is so amazing at pairing their resources, creating community in the social justice space, and creating collaboration. This is all about collaboration. So YANA has provided this beautiful room here at the Yale Club and this great Zoom platform, which so many of you are on. And so we have this great virtual hybrid situation going, and YANA's made it all possible. YANA has no ego, and there's no ask, although please do consider going online and donating if you've been happy with YANA's services and program tonight. YANA is also a 501c3 doing this amazing work. So that's what is happening. That's what's not happening. You will all get information for the point of contacts at the different orgs to do your outreach. And guess what? If nothing sparks your interest tonight, you may hear something that reminds you about your stepsister, your supervisor, your colleague, your friend. And please do us the honor of being an ambassador to those people on behalf of these organizations. Go forth and do your own matching based on what you hear tonight. Don't be shy. We're looking to spread the word. That's why this event is open to people beyond just the Yale community, because the social justice space is so tremendous. So quick logistics for those on Zoom. If you're not speaking, please do be on mute. For those presenting, when you're done with your screen share, please exit. I will give presenters my little peace sign 2-minute warning as you're approaching the end. There's a lot to get through. It may feel like a lot. Hang tight. This is the beginning of a conversation. So I think that's everything. On behalf of YANA's leadership and YANA's board, that is the backbone of so much and so many programs and so much impact. Thank you for having me. Thank you for coming. And I can't wait to hear from these great groups. We're going in alphabetical order. So our first group is Amandla. The board chair, Rahul Prasad, is based in San Francisco. He is a Yale PhD, and he will be speaking in one moment on behalf of Amandla's ED, who was Yale College 2002, my class, a young leader, Scott Clark, and they are going to speak about the staggering incidence of HIV positive teens and children in South Africa. Thank you, Rahul. Kicking it over to you.
Thank you so much, Sam. And thank you to YANA for having us and giving us the opportunity to present. Rather than ramble on for a lot of time telling you about Amandla, I am going to share a video. So bear with me for just a second and I will get it started. And there we go. It should play now.
I am trapped. I'm trapped in a life that's not mine. Trapped in a life I don't deserve or desire, not even close. I crave for freedom. I lust for a happy family. Sometimes I imagine the life I want, but then again, reality mocks me. My heart screams, my eyes are filled with tears. I hide my sorrows and pain with a smile so they don't notice. They, who are they? There's no one. There's only me, myself, and I. Because of reality and what's happening in my life, I fell in love with a pen and a paper. It's the way I express myself more. Living in shacks, when you're inside the shack, you hear everything that's happening outside. There's a lot of fighting. We use public toilets. We don't have water sometimes. Electricity can go up or down. It's just chaotic. It's the way I live. I had to accept who I am and where I live.
Most of these young women are coming with issues of hunger, issues of abuse and neglect, issues of chronic illnesses, also family issues.
These obstacles are complex. You know, any single one of those has components that are social, that are economic, that are health related, that are education related. And so they need all of these different levels of support.
So for you to get to the core, you need a lot of actors coming into that space so that if you're approaching a problem and attacking it from different angles, you're likely to get better results.
And so we need to bring other organizations together. We have to collaborate on a very deep level because that's the only way that the young people are going to get the full breadth of support they need in school, out of school, every step of the way on the journey. So a great example of this methodology is our safe space. The safe space is an idea that came from a need to meet people where they are. So when we discovered that our young people didn't know where to go to get health services, or if they did, they were too scared or intimidated to use them, we created a space where they could come, feel safe, find what they need in a place close to home with people that they trusted. We brought together several organizations who would supply the arts and culture, who were giving help with homework after school, who were bringing parents and caretakers together.
There's drama, there's theater, there's music, there's dance, there's art, there's tutoring coming in. But when youth come in for those services, behind those services, there's the life story, which is the health services that they also access.
When I step through the door, I forget everything. Like, it's more like a new world. So when I am here, I am who I am, and people accept me for who I am. I'm at ease, I'm at peace.
When you're young, you look for answers. Some things that you yourself can't answer, and you look for somebody to really guide you. So when you come to a place like this, you feel like you can open up and just speak and just be, and then they like kind of see who you are and help you discover yourself. So they really direct you, they guide you well.
They are not just teachers for us or facilitators, they've become our family.
I'm being recognized by people that I will take them that they are my heroes, and I feel like I'm so special to have them in my life.
this is where they run to. We make sure that we stabilize their well-being.
17 August 2020, yes, my mother died. I was low. At Amandla, there are social workers, people who can talk to you. And now that I have found someone who I can talk to, I expressed all my feelings to her and I told her what I need. I told her what my problems are, and she helped me a lot. And now I'm relieved, fully relieved and recovered.
So what we have also done is that the program that we have now is also talking to employment opportunities. It is coming with CV development, it's coming with skills analysis, it is coming with financial literacy.
They taught us so many different things, and I'm using those methods that they taught me, like how to budget. So it is a good impact thing. Yeah, it's changing me into a good way.
I feel very happy that I'm making a change to someone's life. Like now, I feel like I'm a change agent.
This is exactly what we exist for. And so when you see the change, you feel like, oh, we need to keep on going.
Replicating this model to different spaces is the only way it really works. That every single community of young people can go to a place where their needs are met, where their voices are heard and understood, where they're not shamed, and where people actually just understand this is how we keep you out of harm's way, this is how we keep you in school, and your success is our community's success.
I so wish when my two siblings, those girls, grow up, I just want Amandla to be also there for them.
My time here is very, very special. Like most of the time, it's home, and I'm really grateful.
Thank you very much for there we go. So thank you very much for listening. Amandla, as you know, works in South Africa. We started with one person, Scott Clark, an enterprising person who set up the first safe space. I'm proud to say that in the 15 years that we've been in operation, we have gone from one person to 204 staff members. We have gone from helping one child to being able to help 50,000 young people annually. Our goal right now is to move to the next level and go from the 5 safe spaces that we have in the Philippi shantytown outside of Cape Town across the country. The South African government is very interested in helping us move forward, and we are also helping. So we're trying to get to the point where our mission is realized, which is to help young people in South Africa from cradle to career and keep them safe and alive to get to the point of getting a career as well. So we're looking for new board members who will help us grow. We have been a 501c3 nonprofit in the US for a number of years now. The board, as we have it instituted now, was started in 2018. And we are now looking to expand so that we can get more expertise, people who have grown businesses, for instance, are people who we'd be interested in. We're interested in people who can help us with marketing, help us with digital content. Also looking for people who may have these expertise buckets within their own organizations and can help us by giving us these things for free, pro bono, as it were, by helping us grow. So I will let Samantha then, Sam, if you want to go ahead and if there's something I've forgotten.
We have about 1:20. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Rahul. Would you just share briefly with our remaining minute what the board does in terms of meetings or any gatherings or site visits as applicable?
So we would love for everybody that is on the board to visit South Africa and actually be in the safe space and talk to the young people. The first time I did it, I think I was completely changed. And I think everybody that has a chance to do so will be. We meet once every couple of months. So there's 6 meetings in the year. and they're done by Zoom. We are hoping to be able to institute an annual meeting in the US where we get together so that we can actually also see each other. We have board members that live in San Francisco, Chicago, Dallas, and the Pacific Northwest, as well as the Northeast. And so we're spread around all over the place. And so we're looking for is to continue that. I don't think there's a significant amount of time that is required. It's more a question of a network and helping us grow the fundraising capability of the organization. So if you have people that you know that are willing to become funders, continuing donors, that would be fantastic.
Great. Thank you so much, Rahul. And your contact information for follow-up, can you please share in the chat? And then YANA will also distribute tomorrow.
I will
Thank
do
you
that.
so
Thank you.
much. Amazing. Okay, on to our next. We have Sarah Jacob representing from DemocraShe. Sarah is Yale undergrad. She is the co-founder. She's the executive director of this amazing organization. And I'm going to kick it off to Sarah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sam. I am Sarah. I am Brantford 96, the founder and ED of DemocraShe, and I'm so excited to be here. So DemocraShe is a national nonpartisan nonprofit that offers historically underserved high school girls civic leadership workshops with a unique approach. So we offer both the public policy leadership skills to create successful future voters, civically engaged citizens, and a special focus on elected officials. And we provide the neuroscience resiliency skills to overcome barriers on a woman's leadership journey. We look at DemocraShe through an equity lens. So we pay our young women to learn how to run for office, and we see that reflected in who can join us. So since our founding in January of 2021, we have served 433 girls, of which 77% identify as first-generation Americans, and we are in 33 states. Why DemocraShe and why high school? So the Institute for Women's Policy Research projects that at our current rate, we will reach parity in Congress in the year 2108, which is 84 years from now. So we need to fix this. One of the things we need to address is the so-called ambition gap, where even though when women run for office, they win at the same rate as men, twice as many men as women are able to see themselves as serious candidates with the same professional background and holding steady all other factors, just whether they can envision it. So DemocraShe shortens the timeline to parity by building a pipeline exactly where that ambition gap starts, which is high school. High school is the last time boys and girls think they can run for office equally, which makes it the exact right time to intervene on a young woman's trajectory and let her know running for office is her birthright. DemocraShe not only reaches high school girls at the critical time to address the ambition gap, we give them the skills for what underlies it. And an insidious piece of that problem is imposter syndrome. So a 2022 KPMG study found that 75% of female executives across all industries identify with imposter syndrome. DemocraShe has a unique approach. So we harness the evidence-based tools of neurobiology to make a woman's brain her ally. Some quick brain science. So a woman's conscious prefrontal cortex is all in for ambition and public service. That is not the problem. However, her unconscious limbic system, which evolved solely to look out for threats and prompt us to avoid them, is very aware that leadership spaces have not traditionally looked like us, and we are not always welcomed with open arms. And that dissonance between the ambitious prefrontal and the anxious limbic translates into some of the hesitation and self-doubt that we call imposter syndrome. And here is the key. The anxious limbic has a separate language. Have you ever said to yourself, just stop worrying? And does that ever work? No, because you're using a rational prefrontal skill to deal with the anxious limbic. Women blame themselves for not just being able to think away imposter syndrome when the limbic system has a different language that we need to learn. So DemocraShe's curriculum combines both the prefrontal leadership skills to create successful leaders and the evidence-based limbic practices that research shows makes her unconscious brain her ally. For example, as young women learn technical skills to make effective campaign speeches, they also notice the inner voice that tells them it's not their turn or it's not their time. And they use limbic skills like grounding or inner best friend to shift that to a confident, I've got this. So learning to manage unconscious anxiety and imposter syndrome has profound results. As 2023 DemocraShe texted me, Hannah, DemocraShe has meant everything to me. My life has changed. Old habits and mindsets are rusting away and my inner best friend is shining brighter than ever. I learned this world will be okay. I'm going to be okay. It feels like family. It feels like love. It feels like home. I will never forget this. And this is the hope. That combining limbic and prefrontal skills help young women not only confidently lead, but truly thrive. And these skills are not just theory, they are battle tested. I was a social worker when in 2014, I got a brutal autoimmune disease called psoriatic arthritis, and I was told I would never work again. These limbic skills are exactly the ones I used to overcome unbelievable pain and anxiety and step into my own civic leadership. And the disability is why the amazing Ken is helping me with my slides, which is why I'm glancing off screen. And when I saw the chance for these limbic skills to help young women overcome their own barriers and step into their rightful roles, DemocraShe was born. DemocraShe has several ways that we serve high school girls. We are a national online program connecting high school girls across state lines. We offer 2 options of Zoom leadership trainings that are live. The deep investment of our 6 flagship cohorts and the series of one-day Best of DemocraShe summer intensives. In 2023, we created an easy-to-scale online course that serves as a fixed asset, and our alumni programming keeps DemocraSheers connected. So DemocraShe started as an idea, and to test it, we run anonymous pre-post tests after each cohort. We are seeing incredibly promising early results. We see young women set up for success to combat imposter syndrome with skills to keep moving forward when they encounter obstacles. We see young women set up to step out of their comfort zone. We see young women who can manage the pushback that we know comes at women leaders, with women feeling like they have the skills to respond the way they want to. And learning neuroscience skills sees a 64% jump in general mental health. We are also seeing our DemocraSheers translate that newfound confidence and resiliency to civic leadership. So we see DemocraSheers who now know how to contact their representatives versus only 13% before. We see DemocraSheers who've taken more action in their school and community, an increase in the sense that their voice matters. And I am especially proud of the young women who now understand how to move forward as participants in our precious DemocraShe, vaulting from a dismal 30% before to 96% after. As part of their graduation plan, DemocraSheers translate these skills into immediate impact. These are just a few examples. They write legislation, they start nonprofits, they run voter registration drives, they step into leadership that celebrates their lived experience, they address food insecurity, they speak at the United Nations, and they use their limbic skills to overcome the voices that tell them that they can't do this. I'm unbelievably excited to report we had 3 candidates run for office in the 2024 cycle, including one who is now the youngest elected official in the state of Maryland. We are so proud of that. what is next for DemocraShe and how can board members make a difference? So Ken, thank you so much. Do you mind stop sharing the slides? If you can. So we've had success. That was a surprise for Ken. We have had success beyond our wildest expectations with growth in our theory of change and vaulting from leaping 24 students in 2022 to 292 students in 2024. So we are now looking for the expertise to scale sustainably from a grassroots organization to a more capable, sustainable nonprofit. And that is why we are looking to expand both our board and our advisory board for those who believe in women's leadership but don't have the same time to give. So as is true for many early organizations, we have mainly a friends and family board, and we're in a different life cycle. We need a more professional working board. So we've done a great job creating containers, which is a term we use in the social workspace, for structure in our programming. And now we need that same structure in our governance to bring sustainability and sustainability to DemocraShe. So we are particularly looking for board members who have experience scaling nonprofit boards, preferably having helped growing nonprofits like DemocraShe, and could bring skills in governance and finance. So my theory of governance, is I trust my board to be fiduciaries for the organization and thought partners and collaborators on operations and mission delivery. We see a future where DemocraShe grows to not only allow young women to flood our future, with young women taking their rightful roles, seeing their lived experience reflected in America's laws, but seeing a long list of EDs after me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. That was wonderful. With Vice President Harris and all the timing of just couldn't be better. So well played, Sarah, and all the DemocraSheroes. And I'm going to kick it over next to the National Youth Law Center. We have Mary in the room, who is Yale undergrad and as the board chair. And we have Shakti, who is their executive director and also a Yale, and she is on Zoom. And can't wait to hear about this org helping youth, but through a different lens and addressing the complicated, nuanced needs of children who need advocates and access to equity in the welfare space, foster care, criminal justice, you name it. So thank you for coming, Mary. Kicking it to you.
Thank you.
Turn your sound off.
I did turn my.
Computer on.
Just mute it. The microphone will pick you up.
Good.
Beautiful.
Great.
Okay. Good evening. My name is Mary Bissell, and I am a proud Yale College 90 grad. I'm a mom. I'm a lawyer for social justice and a child and family policy advocate. And I am so proud to be the chair of the board of the National Center for Youth Law, which we lovingly call NYCL. I am so honored tonight to introduce NYCL's amazing executive director, Shakti Bellaway, who will be giving you a deeper sense of the amazing work that NYCL does. And I think the kismet of two social justice lawyers who believe in the transformative power of young people and are part of the growing hordes of women who found their public interest journey begin at Yale. We were destined to be here with you tonight, and we are so grateful for the opportunity. So I will turn it over to Shakti.
Thank you, Mary, and hello and good evening, everyone. Thank you for connecting with us. I will share my screen.
Looks good.
We believe all children and youth should thrive, and that the U.S. ought to be a nation in which every child and every youth has the opportunity to thrive. At the National Center for Youth Law, we are building, investing in, and co-creating this future state. So We are 106 staff, staff member powerhouse, national organization, and we hold substantive expertise in the government systems and public agencies that have influence and power over the lives of children, from public schools to public health systems, to the child welfare and foster systems, to the juvenile legal system, criminal legal system, as well as those that detain unaccompanied minors who are held in federal custody. Right now, these publicly funded systems and agencies too often fail children and youth, and even worse, cause them harm. For instance, a child who's arrested for a status offense, they're out past curfew, and end up, being held in detention over this type of, minor violation, and then gets placed on probation and is cycled in and out of, being locked in a cage, really, inside of a detention facility. This is a harm that offers society no benefit. Or when a child is in the foster system, has been removed from their family, and is separated from their younger siblings and unable to connect with them or maintain relationships. This offers society no benefit. So instead of public dollars feeding systems that actively fail children or cause them harm, we believe that when children become involved in these systems, they should thrive as a result. To achieve this change, we first and foremost center the youth and the wisdom that they hold based on their direct lived experience, so that we can partner with them to achieve broad systemic changes. And we employ multiple strategies from narrative change to litigation to policy reform, and to collaborations with public agencies and deep community partnerships. And so we'd love to have you join us. It is among the greatest privileges I have known to be able to partner with young people who are experiencing injustice and help them achieve transformation, systemic transformation. So, again, back to what we do. We're working on systems, multiple systems that interact with the lives of young people. We have deep, broad, and interconnected expertise that really allows us to address the systems as a youth is experiencing them. So many young people interact with multiple different public systems in different ways without there being any kind of integration or coordination to how their lives are being disrupted. And we think about our work and the systems transformation in this holistic way. And partner one of our core beliefs is to partner with young people with direct lived experience, center their priorities, their needs, and work with them to vision and activate a change to how those systems impact not just them directly, their families, their communities, but also future generations. So our work, the public systems where we are improving to better support the needs of young people include public education systems, the children's immigration system, child welfare, the juvenile legal system, the issues that are intersectional, the broad justice and equity issues across them, the health system, and the mental health system, and also ending the commercial sexual exploitation of children. So we work in communities, in partnership with communities across the country. And I am delighted to re-engage with you, Mary, as we begin to kind of invite invite your partnership and to become part of our board. We welcome expertise across a wide array of issues. We are, we've been operating for 50 years, but we're also in some ways in a startup phase. It's a really exciting time in the organization, and we really welcome those of you who share our vision of a nation in which every child and youth can thrive, and that vision, and that vision is worth investing in. So these are priorities that we are looking for in board members. Any of you who really hold expertise in finance, also in the region, the Northeast region in New York City, or who hold who hold new areas of expertise. We've been building strategy around the proliferation of artificial intelligence and the adoption of that technology, which holds tremendous promise, but that adoption of it by public systems and agencies that impact the lives of young people, and thinking through how to best support their ongoing, their well-being. But AI, technology, also labor, and anyone who can really help strengthen and build our financial strategies and capacity. Mary, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, go ahead.
Okay, and so that's it. That's our invitation. Please do feel welcome to reach out to us. We'd love to further the dialogue. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Shakti. Thank you, Mary. We have just a minute left. That was super comprehensive. I'm wondering, you mentioned that you're looking for New York and Northeast. Do you have plans down the road where people who are logged in from the West Coast, should they stay tuned for growth in that direction, or are you more firmly rooted in the East Coast?
We're actually most rooted in California, and have significant board membership representation from California and the Bay Area, but also, members such as Mary on the East Coast. We are building out our diversifying our board membership, and eager to build community with those in the Northeast.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. That was wonderful. Right. We are going to take a small break from the youth specific emphasis. You may have noticed that that's a theme in a lot of our organizations that we're highlighting tonight. And that really speaks to the heart and the mission of YANA, which is so intergenerational, connecting people from all sorts of generations. So we did, Ken and his team did a beautiful job picking organizations that are amplifying the potential of youth. And the next organization helps youth, but also so many others. And it is so innovative and niched. I'm going to kick it over in 1 second to Anna, who is the executive director of Penta Medical Recycling. Her founder is a Yale, Henry Eisenman, class of 18. Quite the youngster. And he's here with us tonight in person. And they have built a niched, amazing logistical bridge through their organization, connecting unused or discarded prosthetic devices with amputees around the entire globe who may not have access to a limb they so desperately need to change their life. The US has, I'll let them talk about it, but when I saw the information about it, I thought, wow, good on you for thinking of this. This is amazing. So I'm going to kick it over to Anna. Thank you for joining.
And I was going to say, please go ahead. You can take that. I mean, I'm happy to do it as well. Thank you to YANA for having us, and thank you all for listening to us speaking about Penta medical recycling. Here. So as Sam mentioned, we are Penta Medical Recycling. We are a nonprofit organization based here in New York, but we do have a global reach, and our mission truly is to collect surplus, excess, used, and sometimes unused prosthetic devices from around the entire United States, and to deliver that very high quality, low cost prosthetic equipment to amputees in our network. The organization was founded by Henry Eisman, who's sitting next to me. You will hear from him shortly. Back in 2016 on the Yale campus, and the organization itself was formally incorporated back in 2018. You may be asking yourselves the how and the why. As Sam mentioned, it's a very, very specific mission. But the founders, they saw two very specific problems and wanted to address them. The first being that there are upwards of 300,000 prosthetic devices being discarded here in the US from individuals who are upgrading their equipment, from clinics who are accumulating pieces in their facilities, and also manufacturers who are updating their equipment and delivering new models, but still have like a stock from last year. That's where that 300,000 excess comes from. That stands in very stark contrast to the tremendous need of the prosthetic equipment around the world. Per the World Health Organization, there are around 100 million amputees outside of the United States, who most of which, 90% of which, do not have access to this very necessary equipment. So the Penta team decided to build the bridge between the supply here in the US and the demand. And what we do is we essentially collect all of that equipment. We bring it to our New York City warehouse, where we disassemble it, take it apart when necessary, clean it up, and list it on a very specific inventory database that we have built, and share that inventory database with our network of global partners that span 29 different countries, so that they can essentially shop for the equipment that is most suitable to their environments, to their patients, even down to like the foot size. And we share that equipment with them. Since our humble beginnings, we have now reached 29 different countries. In 2023, we have sent to about, I think there's 21 on this list, but we have a global footprint of about 29 different countries. And our growth over the last couple of years really does speak to the need for the equipment, but also the channel that we are providing for people who don't really know what to do with the equipment that they have at home, the clinics that don't really know what to do with the box of extra components that they have acquired in the back closet. And so since 2021, when Penta brought on its first, I would say, cohort of formal staff, we really have seen just a tremendous growth in our operations. And that also just means more people of that 100 million people in need are being served by this extremely valuable and life-changing equipment. This is just a breakdown of where that equipment is going. And essentially, since the start of Penta back in 2016, we have sent upwards of 11,000 components. We have collected 11,000 components, sent out over 7,000, which means anywhere from upwards of 1,500 people have had their lives changed by this componentry. These are a few photos of those people. And we always say that a prosthetic device doesn't only mean physical mobility, it means social mobility. It means economic mobility. Someone is able to return back to work. A child is able to go back to school. Melissa here, who I met in the Dominican Republic last year, this was her first time standing in 10 years. She lost her legs when she was 3 in a car accident. Motor vehicle accidents, unfortunately, are a very, very, it's a leading cause of amputation in low and middle income countries.
We also have been sending a lot of equipment to Ukraine. There are 100,000 new amputees in Ukraine as a result of the war. And so we've been sending a lot of equipment there. And as Sam mentioned, we also do supply a lot of equipment to children. By the end of 2025, we hope that 20% of our global beneficiaries will be children. And that is, we're getting to that goal by partnering with prosthetic mission groups who serve primarily children, one of those being a partner organization called Longtime Foundation, who travels and does primarily fittings for children. I'm going to hand it over to Henry.
Thank you very much, Anna. So all of this work that Anna has described has been done with a very, very small team. Our global operation that you just saw has been managed by 3 to 4 full-time staff members and 3 to 4 board members over the last 6 years. And growing our organization in a multitude of ways is a priority in the coming years to support our, as Anna showed, growing operation and growing demand for the service that we're providing. In a recently developed strategic plan, looking at the next 2 years and beyond, we've identified growing our board as being key to managing this already rapidly occurring growth that we're seeing in other areas. Our role as a go-to organization in this space, really the go-to organization, the only organization collecting equipment and distributing it internationally. We've had some unique opportunities to build relationships with some of the biggest players in our space. I don't expect these brand names to be familiar to people in the room unless they or a loved one or someone they know is an amputee. But Autobach and Hanger are some of the biggest manufacturers, service providers, and they're approaching us to collect their equipment, collect their patients' equipment. And so these are the kinds of relationships that we want to be taking advantage of. We've been building the community that supports our work, the volunteers that come in to help us actually break down and send out the equipment. As you can imagine, our one operations director can take apart thousands of limbs himself. And we've recently moved into a much larger space. This used to be our space in a Manhattan storage unit where we would take up the other, the whole hallways, break down equipment. And we've recently moved into this much larger, much improved operation space, which we're very excited to be able to soon process about 10 times the amount of equipment we've been receiving and send out many, many more shipments. So that is why we are here to meet board members and advisors, counselors, people who want to be part of our mission to help us take advantage of these opportunities and grow in accordance with our strategic plan to be able to send out shipments of this size and quantity of components to parts of the world that are desperately in need. And we're hoping that these board members can help us grow our operation at home through the strategic partnerships I mentioned, grow internationally, seeking people with personal interest or connections to the countries that we are working in and want to help us reach more people in those countries and grow not just more broadly around the world, but with more depth in the countries that we're in. And also social people who like events who can help us multiply the benefit of the events we intend to be organizing in this new space and the community that we can bring in there, as well as with a financial background and expertise to help us manage our growing budget and increasingly complex finances. So please reach out to us if you're interested in the work that we're doing. And thank you very much. Yes, about a minute for questions.
We have a question in the room. Please speak up.
You mentioned components. Is that, I assume, one limb is a component?
No, actually. So a full limb is made up of anywhere from 3 to 5 major components. A prosthetic, a full limb is actually, it's very custom to the individual, but the pieces are very standardized across the industry. So a foot can fit into the long shin bone, for lack of a better word, into a knee from another company. And so we have to break the full legs down into the individual components so that when we send them to our partners, they can essentially reanimate a custom prosthetic for the person who's sitting right in front of them.
Got it. Okay. And I assume that, like all technology, it improves over time. When you get an old prosthetic, can you update it? Is that possible? Can you?
Like Lego pieces, people switch out the components. A lot of the equipment we're receiving is within, products from the last few years. Sometimes it's last year's excess stock and they have a new model, but the changes have been quite small. And definitely the equipment we're sending is advanced compared to the equipment that's available in the parts of the world that we are.
Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful.
I think we will, hold on, I'm gonna end this. We will, I'll ask everyone with the rest of their questions to reserve them for after the event, if you're in person, or via email or phone for Zoom participants. I'm sure for all the groups today, there will be a lot of follow-up and questions. And if the prospective board members here who are paying attention, you have a one-off question for one of these orgs, such as what's a DemocraShe or what is a component, please don't be shy. Just get active, get engaged. Ask a one-off question. If you ask a question, the answer doesn't rub you the right way, you can ghost these 6 orgs. They won't take it personally. They're going to have a lot of interest, God willing. So just go for it and put yourself out there and follow up and be curious. Well, thank you so, so much. So on to our next organization. And thank you. And that smile and thumbs up in that tiny little office. God bless. This is why I love working with social justice. You had a smile on your face and your desk was literally this big. So thank you for that. Okay. Our next presenter, we are going to flip it back to Zoom to Khalid Cannon from Put Me In, the founder and board chair of this org. Is Matt Blodgett. He's Yale undergrad, Yale football player. He's based out west. And the president and chief program officer, Khalid Cannon, is on the Zoom tonight. We're going to talk about the amazing work they do, helping open doors and create opportunities for the youth of incarcerated parents who may not have access to team sports and travel sports. And he is fresh off a trip to the Junior Olympics, cheering on an athlete supported by Put Me In. So tossing it over to you, Khalid. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Sam. Like Sam mentioned, my name is Khalid, and I'm the president and chief program officer here at Put Me In. And what we're focused on is helping children with parents in prison or jail play sports. We do that by providing $1,000 a year in annual recurring financial aid that goes towards equipment, league fees, and travel, and we distribute that through a mobile app. We were founded in the summer of 2020, and we enrolled our first cohort of 10 kids in January of 2021. We're now currently serving 100 kids in 12 states across the country and enabled by our mobile app. So our goal is to be a national organization. The thesis behind Put Me In is facing parental incarceration is an ACE, an adverse childhood experience. And with that becomes so many obstacles towards growing up, such as being 2.3 times more likely to have depression, 1.5 times more likely to have ADHD, 2.6 times more likely to have behavioral issues, 2.2 times more likely to eventually go on to substance abuse. And I could go on and on about all of these different statistics that we have on ACEs and parental incarceration. And then I could also go on about the benefits of sports, but I want to tell you why this organization means so much to me, and that's because I was one of those kids growing up. I grew up on a farm in Alabama. When I was 4 years old, my dad was incarcerated. It was just me, my mom, my sister growing up on a chicken farm. But I was one of the lucky ones. There are currently 5 million children across the country dealing with parental incarceration, but I felt lucky because I had a village.
Yeah.
I had a parent.
Please mute. If you're not Khalid, please mute. Thank you so much.
I had grandparents, aunts, uncles, a church community, all pushing me to do the right things, stay in sports, focus on school, and that's going to take you places. And with that took me to Yale. Sam mentioned Matt, who was a class of 02, but I'm also Yale, class of 17 on the football team. I saw Sam Rubin on here, who I've done several interviews with when I was an undergrad here at Yale, and Yale absolutely changed my life. It was completely life-changing. I'd never been on a plane before. My mom had never been on a plane before until Coach Reno bought our tickets for our official visit. Being able to, sports completely opened up our access to the country. We had just had our little pocket in the Southeast, and being able to participate in sports completely changed the way that we look at the world. And we're doing that for kids now. Sorry, I don't know why I'm getting choked up today. I've been telling this story forever. But I'm telling you these stories because we have so many great stories here at Put Me In. Just this year, we've got a great update from Rodney. Rodney came to us, and he was, rough day.
We appreciate you, Khalid. And all these social justice warriors bring a lot of heart to the work they do, and you're no different. Thank you.
Yes. So when we signed Rodney to put me in, he was playing in a $35 league, soccer league in the Bay Area. He was the best player in the league by far. And through the put me in money, he started joining a elite travel soccer league with a bunch of private school kids in the Bay Area. And they went around beating every other team in California that summer. And he was still the best player in that league. At the end of the summer, he looked at his mom and he didn't say, oh, I'm going to go on and be in the MLS, or I'm going to play for Team USA. He looked at her and says, I'm just as smart as every other kid on this team. Why can't I go to a private school? Sorry, guys. But sports open doors, sports change lives, and we're building communities. We're giving people access to villages, and I need your help.
Thank you, Khalid. Let's talk about the board. Let's talk about how we can all help you and these amazing children. And you also help, it's not just the kids impacted, it's the parents, it's the family, it's the community. You're changing the children's lives, but as a parent, oh my gosh, you are changing the parents' lives too, because the impact of sports in every child's life can be really huge.
Thanks for the lifeline. Thanks for the lifeline there. So one of the cool things we're seeing here is that we came into this with a goal of just helping children, and we're seeing the full wraparound services. We're seeing the moms bonding over having a community of others people with shared experiences. They're not having to worry about, do I put gas in the car this week, or do I get to sign Rodney up for soccer? We're seeing dads reconnect with their families, because before, the sons and daughters are not interested in going to visit their family anymore. Now they have something to talk about. They know the practice schedules, the game schedules, and we're reuniting them. The kids are excited to go and tell their dad, I scored a goal this week. And we're reunifying those bonds, and we're stopping cycles because of that. We've seen one kid go up 4 reading levels in 1 year because of the motivation of his sensei at karate practice. We're seeing amazing results. And right now, what we're looking for on a board, we've got a very finance-heavy board. So I'm looking for people that have experience as social workers, because I was a chemistry geology major at Yale, so I'm used to P-sets, not used to emotions and working with kids. I need advice from the social working side. I need people with HR experience that are interested in helping us expand our team. We're looking to hire a full-time fundraiser this year to expand our capabilities, continue growing nationwide. And then lastly, we're looking for someone with marketing experience, because we have so many amazing stories here to tell, and I need someone to help me tell them. And on top of all of that, we're just looking for people with passion, people that want to tell stories, people that want to help us grow this mission and help all 5 million children across the country.
Thank you, Khalid. That's amazing. I'm wondering, as the board grows and we add people, what would the opportunities be perhaps for new board members to get to engage with the student athletes and the families?
Absolutely. So most of our work is done asynchronously. I'm the only employee, and I'm working with kids all over the country. But what we do is some hands-on events to build community with our families. So this past year, we hosted a field day event at Stanford, where we had one of our volunteers, who's a former Olympic swimmer, give the children and their families a tour of campus. And that's an opportunity for them to create these bonds and see that they're not alone, and also be exposed to a college experience. A lot of the moms and dads that went on that tour had never stepped foot on a college campus. As a board member, this is a great opportunity for you to come and meet our families. We also do dinners in some of our cities across the country where we have a presence as well. And this is a great opportunity for you to sit down and meet some of these kids, and they're absolutely amazing. I'll be in Boston this next week, and I'm gonna have a chance to take out several of our families to dinner, and also go to a Patriots game, and we'll have a few board members tag along to that. So we're super passionate about getting you guys hands-on with the kids that we're working with, and seeing how amazing they are and how much potential they have.
That sounds excellent. We have 3 minutes left. Do you want to speak just for a minute about your unique technology platform? Because that might be a really interesting entry for potential board members.
Absolutely. So one of the unofficial mottos that put me in is ASAP is poison, and we never want to rush anything. Everything we've done so far in our development has been very intentional. And with that, we did our very first cohort of 10 kids, just in an Excel sheet. We would get phone calls, emails, text messages from mothers and other caregivers for the requests that we received. And we realized that was not scalable. That in itself was a 20-hour-a-week job. And so we spent the time the next year to develop a mobile app that allows us to scale across the nation. And now I spend maybe 30 minutes a day max actually doing program administration. So if we had the funding right now, I could take on another 500 kids in the program, and we wouldn't blink an eye. So the way that our mobile app works is each family starts with $1,000 a year. And then as you're making requests, that money goes down in your account. And so the caregivers always know exactly how much they have, and it's not use it or lose it. So that money's going to roll over the next year, and we're going to be able to stay connected with these families until that child graduates high school. The key value of our program is the compounding impact, where we enroll a kid in the first, second grade, and we get to stay with them for 10 years and see them grow into young leaders. But the way they request funding is they're taken to this page here, and then they select the disbursement type, which is in our 3 buckets: equipment, league fees, and travel, and then the associated sport. And then next, the big decision is payment type. So we're either reimbursing parents with receipts or purchasing things directly when they provide a link to an Amazon, Dick's Sporting Goods, or whatever website of their choice. And so with that, we have complete transparency in exactly where every single penny that we're spending on the children goes. We're really excited about the data capabilities we're going to have as we grow, where hopefully once we get a little bit larger, we have the ability with our purchasing power to go and get rebates from Amazon and Dick's Sporting Goods. We're going to be able to see, we're already starting to see some huge pockets of need within some of the organization. There's a football league in Pittsburgh, California, where we've got 10 football players and cheerleaders signed up right now. And so I'm able to connect them with another organization that provides equipment. And we're doing a partnership there where they're getting fully equipped for this upcoming season. So the partnership opportunity here is incredible. And then the last thing that we want to highlight here is that with the population that we're working with, last year when we had 50 kids in the program, 37 of the 50 lived in household incomes of $40,000 or less. And they were often switching phone numbers every 3 to 6 months. So we would lose touch with them. So to prevent our attrition, we embedded messaging directly in the mobile app. So as long as they have the app downloaded, they're on Wi-Fi, they can communicate with us directly. And since then, we've had no real fall off in the families that we're working with.
Wow. Thank you so much, Khalid. That is time. And really appreciate hearing your story. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, folks, I'm sorry to say that we are getting towards the end of the program, and we have one more outstanding organization here. For those of us in the room, you may be enjoying a very distinctive aroma. We have here in the room giveaway bags and centerpieces provided by our next organization, Teens for Food Justice. And this is hydroponically grown basil by teens from the MLK Academy. And this amazing group is introducing education, growth, learning, distribution, and food equity in food desert communities. And it is just outstanding. So apologies to those on Zoom who don't get to enjoy the basil. Find me when you're in town and we'll see what we can do. And I hope that everyone in the room can sort of just have a very palpable feel for the texture and the smell and the flavor of this really, really important work that Teens for Food Justice is doing and what the students are doing. So I'm going to throw it over to the executive director who's here in the room, Kathy Soul, and she's joined by her board chair, Randy. Thank you so much, Kathy. Behold the basil. We have goodie bags for everyone. Make a spa water, make a pesto, go for it.
Sex to get this back to where it's supposed to be. It has a tendency to jump. All right, great, here we are. So hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for being here tonight, for inviting us to be here tonight, and to be here to learn about the work and to potentially become involved with one or more of the amazing organizations that are represented here. I am unbelievably inspired by all of you. I am really honored to be in this group. So my name is Kathy Saul, and I am the proud CEO and co-founder of Teens for Food Justice, a New York City-based nonprofit working to build a sustainable, equitable, healthy food system and food secure future through school-based youth-led hydroponic farming. I'm thrilled to be joined by our extraordinary board co-chair, Randy Stern, whose wife, Carol Whitehead, is a Yale alum and became introduced to TFFJ when I participated in, I was selected as the winner of YANA's 2014 social enterprise pitch competition right after we founded our organization. YANA has been an integral part of TFFJ's successful journey over the last 10 years, and it's really amazing to be here with all of you tonight and share our story and work. So food insecurity and its dramatic and exorbitant costly impacts on community health, particularly in our lower income communities of color, is an endemic and unfortunately growing problem in New York City, America at large, and globally. All of us are feeling the impact of really high food prices every time we shop. But for those folks who are on a limited or tight budget or existing on subsidies such as SNAP, these impacts are devastating. And although the data in these slides are mind-boggling, in fact, actual conditions continue to worsen as pandemic era benefits come to an end, or they've already come to an end, and food prices continue to rise. At TFFJ, we believe that access to healthy food is a basic human right. Our vision is to build the capacity of food desert communities to grow and distribute fresh, affordable, nutritious, and culturally appropriate food and leave themselves and others to help their futures. We're catalyzing a cultural shift where young people in low-income communities become producers of their own food, educated consumers, and creators of solutions to social problems. Our unique and visionary method is building high-capacity hydroponic farms in public schools in under-resourced food insecure communities and empowering 6th to 12th grade students to operate and manage these farms that grow as much as 10,000 pounds of fresh produce in each location annually for themselves, their peers, their families, and their neighbors. And I'm really excited that you are having the opportunity to take home and smell the basil that our students have been growing at our MLK Junior Campus Farm in Manhattan. Our students accomplish this work through curricular day STEM classes, paid internships, and after-school programming that takes place in our farms. They're also learning about the nutrition and health benefits of a plant-based diet, how to grow food indoors in sustainable ways, the historical conditions that have led to a broken food system that is harming people and the planet. And they also gain the skills to advocate for and drive positive change around food systems. So I'd love to just let our students and our partners take you on a walk through our program. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to put the volume on.
Once I walked into the door and I saw like everything, I was inspired. I was so amazed that you don't have to grow herbs outside, but you can grow it inside. Never thought that like as kids that this day would come that we can like help give to our community.
Teens for Food Justice is striving to eradicate food insecurity and the resulting negative impacts that we see on health in our low-income communities of color. These are youth-led, community-based solutions where we partner with schools and community-based organizations to build high-capacity hydroponic farms that are capable of growing as much as 10,000 pounds of produce per year.
As part of the class, students also build the actual rates themselves. So you have kind of not only the science of growing the food, but like, how can I create the structures that will allow me to grow the food?
There are so many career opportunities that are available to our kids as a result of their exploration in this program. You can work on greenhouse management, on hydroponic management, on irrigation systems, and also the more food activism pieces interesting to them. There's different roles in food justice and local government that will be available to them for the work that we're doing here.
Teams for Food Justice is able to provide students with the leadership skills to go out and be comfortable advocating for change in their society. For with the following amendments. So I just applaud you, both of you, for great powerful advocacy. Because you look around our community and we don't have any healthy options to do.
It's not that easy to find like fresh produce everywhere.
I worry about it because like there's not
not enough healthy food going around. You got the different samples of different leafy greens, things that I've never tasted before myself.
Yeah.
And then you introduce us to them. It's really amazing because I help through them. So it's like me tasting my program. I could do it.
To see the kids' joy of learning a hands-on curriculum, really thriving and feeling like they have agency and purpose in their community makes me know that we're doing the right work.
So we like to save in this community. Like that's what it sounds crazy, just having 6 programs, but that's the possibility of having this hygiene platform. That's what you can do.
Teen school justice is great. Good job in all schools, so kids got this experience like I did.
The whole program is really for us.
Makes me so proud of myself.
Sorry, just give it a minute. Go. Trying to get out of that slide. No, now there we go. Okay. So when TFFJ won the YANA pitch competition, we received invaluable support and guidance from Yale graduates and students, including our very first strategic plan. And TFFJ is now a $3 million organization operating 7 farms in New York City and Denver, and impacting tens of thousands of students and community members through the close to 60,000 pounds of produce that we're growing every year and the programming that we provide. And we are growing rapidly with multiple new farms funded and slated for launch in 2025. Is it going? Sorry. No, there we go. With multiple new farms funded and slated for launch in 2025 and developing projects in additional cities, including, excitingly, New Haven. One notable TFFJ project is our Far Rockaway school-based farm hub, a partnership between the New York City Department of Education, Queens elected officials, and the USDA to address significant health, education, and opportunity gaps in the Rockaway Peninsula through a regional intervention focused on youth. The project is now scheduled to include 5 farms, so this actually it's become bigger than what you see here. That will serve 10 schools and 5,000 students, and will grow tens of thousands, 30,000 pounds of produce in just this community alone, and serve tens of thousands of community members. Most importantly, the program works. We evaluate our program regularly using outside consultants to understand our impact, as well as where we can make improvements in our program delivery. And in fact, we just completed a 2-year adaptive plan with Grace Fan Group, courtesy of a generous funder. Our 16 full-time and part-time program, farm, and administrative staff, some of whom we are really proud to say are former students in our program, and our really active board are incredibly dedicated to our mission and put in time and effort to ensure that we deliver on our mission as efficiently and as effectively as possible. And I'm so glad that Randy is here to share his perspective as a board member with you.
Good evening to everyone. I am Randy Stern, and I am TFFJ's board co-chair. We're really delighted to be presenting to YANA tonight. Being on the TFFJ board has been a fantastic experience that has merged my professional background in food business and agriculture and my passion for helping food security, sustainability, and improving children's lives. The organization's team is vibrant, dedicated, and motivated, while the board is thoughtful, engaged, and looks to improve the future for these underserved children.
Bring it on home, Randy.
Bring it on home. We are right at the point. After some downsizing due to the pandemic shifts in members' personal and professional lives, our board is actively rebuilding to its prior level 14 to 15 directors. We have capacity to onboard 3 more board members this year, and I hope you will consider joining us as I look forward to the opportunity, as Kathy does, to speak to you about this opportunity and the positive impact it's had on me and so many others. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy and Randy. That was amazing. And they came early and they clipped all this basil so everyone in the room has a goodie bag and a takeaway. Sadly, that was our last presentation, but I just want to take 1 minute to thank everyone in the room. I see longtime friends and supporters of YANA. I see amazing founders. I see students. I see social justice growing leaders. I see current social justice leaders and amazing YANA board members in person. Thank you for being the backbone of this organization that enables so much. Thank you for having me. I hope that we do this all again soon. Stay tuned, stay active. If you're here in person, please join us for a cocktail afterwards. And if you're on Zoom, you'll be getting all the contact information for any questions. Stay connected. Thank you so much for having me.